Have you ever had a moment where you wanted to speak up, take action, or make a change, but something inside you held you back? A hesitation, a doubt, a tiny voice whispering, "What if you mess up? What if they judge you?" You tell yourself you're just being cautious, waiting for the right moment. But in reality, this isn't logic, it's fear. A hidden fear that has been controlling your life without you even realizing it. Think about it. How many times have you stopped yourself from doing something, not because you couldn't, but because a voice in your head told you to wait? You wanted to ask for that opportunity, but fear convinced you, maybe later. You had an idea, a dream, a goal, but instead of chasing it, you hesitated. You let it pass. And then what happened? Nothing. Life stayed the same. That's how fear works. It doesn't stop you with loud alarms. It whispers. It makes excuses sound reasonable. It convinces you that stepping outside your comfort zone is too risky. It's why people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and routines that slowly kill their potential. But here's the part no one tells you. Fear isn't protecting you. It's trapping you. Every time you let it win, you teach your brain that avoiding discomfort is the right choice. You reinforce a dangerous habit, one where fear makes decisions for you. And the longer you listen to it, the stronger it gets. Now imagine this. What if fear wasn't in control? What if you didn't second-guess every move? What if failure, rejection, and judgment weren't things to be afraid of, but signs that you were finally breaking free? Because here's the truth, fear will never fully disappear, but you can stop obeying it. And in the next few minutes, we're going to expose exactly how fear keeps you stuck and how to fight back. Most people think fear is something they can just push aside. They tell themselves, "I'll deal with it later," or "It's not a big deal." But here's what no one tells you. Ignoring fear doesn't make it disappear. It makes it stronger. Think about it like this. Imagine fear as a small crack in your windshield. At first, it's barely noticeable. It's just a tiny line. But if you ignore it, it spreads. It grows. And one day, it shatters everything. That's what happens every time you avoid something that scares you. You think you're staying safe, but really, you're feeding your fear. Let's get real. How many times have you avoided a conversation because it made you uncomfortable? How many times have you postponed a decision because it felt overwhelming? How many times have you told yourself, "I'm just not ready," when deep down, you knew you were just afraid? Every single time you do this, you send your brain a message. Fear is the boss. Fear is in charge. And your brain listens. It starts seeing fear as a command, not a suggestion. Before you even realize it, fear stops being a momentary hesitation. It becomes your default state. This is why some people stay stuck for years. They don't even realize they've built a mental prison where fear is the warden and they are the prisoner. They avoid risks, avoid challenges, avoid discomfort, until one day, they wake up and realize they've been avoiding life itself. But here's the good news. You don't have to live this way. The only way to break fear's grip is to do the opposite of what it expects. Instead of running from fear, you face it. Instead of shrinking back, you lean in. You take action, even when it's uncomfortable, because discomfort is the only way to rewire your brain for courage. The scariest things in life, the things you keep avoiding, are the things you need to face the most. And the moment you stop running from fear, it stops chasing you. By now, you know that ignoring fear makes it stronger. But here's the part most people get wrong. You don't defeat fear by trying to eliminate it. You defeat it by changing how you respond to it. Think of fear like a school bully. If you run, it chases you. If you freeze, it grows bolder. But if you stand your ground, something surprising happens. It starts losing its power over you. And this is exactly how you break fear's grip in real life. It's a skill, and here's a 3-step process to master it. Step 1. Catch fear in the act. Most people don't even realize when fear is running the show. It disguises itself as logical thinking, as waiting for the right time, as "I'll do it later." But the first step is catching fear in the act. The next time you hesitate on something, stop. Ask yourself one question. Am I making this choice because it's right or because I'm afraid? If fear is making the decision for you, congratulations, you just exposed it. And once you see it, you can change it. Step 2. Flip the fear equation. Most people think fear means danger. But in reality, fear is just a signal that you're stepping into the unknown. And here's the trick. Instead of seeing fear as a warning to stop, see it as a green light to go. Every time you feel fear, remind yourself, fear doesn't mean stop, it means grow. That fear of speaking up, that's a sign you need to speak. That fear of taking a risk, that's a sign you're on the edge of a breakthrough. That fear of putting yourself out there, that's a sign you're about to level up. The more you practice this shift, the less power fear has over you. Step 3. Take the smallest possible action. Fear thrives in hesitation. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. So the moment you feel fear, don't think, act. And here's the key. Start tiny. Want to speak up? Say one sentence. Want to take a risk? Let's take the first step. Want to change your life? Make the smallest move today. Action is like hitting the mute button on fear. The second you move, fear loses its grip, and over time, it stops controlling you altogether. This is how you break free, not by eliminating fear, but by refusing to let it make decisions for you. And once you master this, your entire life changes. Here's one of the biggest myths keeping people stuck. I need to be confident before I take action. Sounds logical, right? You think, once I feel ready, once I have more experience, once I feel sure of myself, then I'll go for it. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after. Think about it. When was the last time you felt confident doing something for the first time? Probably never. Confidence isn't what makes you start. It's what you gain by starting. Imagine a baby learning to walk. They don't wait until they feel confident. They just try, fall, get back up, and try again. And guess what? That's exactly how confidence is built. Not by waiting, not by preparing endlessly, but by doing. Why confidence is just a side effect. Let's break a common belief. Confident people aren't fearless. They still feel fear. The difference? They act anyway. They've trained themselves to move forward despite fear, and every time they do, their brain learns. That wasn't as bad as I thought. I handled it. I didn't die. And with every experience, confidence grows. Not because they believed in themselves from the start, but because they proved to themselves that they could handle it. The one rule that will change everything. So here's a mindset shift that will change your life. Stop waiting for confidence. Start acting despite fear. Want to speak up in a meeting? Don't wait to feel ready, just say one sentence. Want to approach someone new? Don't plan a perfect conversation, just say hi. Want to launch a project, a business, a dream? Don't wait for certainty, just start small today. Because here's the secret. The moment you take action, fear shrinks and confidence grows. The more you do, the less fear controls you. And before you know it, the thing that once terrified you, it becomes second nature. By now you understand fear better than most people ever will. You know it grows when you ignore it. You know confidence comes from action, not the other way around. But here's the final step, the key to making sure fear never traps you again. It's simple. Fear feeds on hesitation. The longer you wait, the stronger it gets. So the solution? You move before fear has time to grow. Think of fear like a fire. At first, it's just a spark. If you act immediately, it never has a chance to spread. But if you hesitate, that spark turns into a flame, and before you know it, it's an unstoppable wildfire. So here's the rule. Act fast. Move before fear settles in. The 5-second rule that will change your life. The next time fear creeps in, give yourself 5 seconds to take action. Want to speak up? Count down from 5 and do it. Want to send that message? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, send. Want to start your dream? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the first step. The second you feel hesitation, you break the cycle with action. And once you do this enough times, something incredible happens. Your brain rewires itself. Instead of seeing fear as a stop sign, it starts seeing it as a green light. Instead of fear paralyzing you, it starts pushing you forward. And the best part? Fear stops feeling like the enemy. It starts feeling like fuel. The truth about fear, that will set you free. Listen closely. Fear is never going away. But that's not a bad thing. Because fear isn't here to stop you. It's here to show you what matters. It's here to point you toward the things that will change your life. And now, you finally know how to use it. From this moment forward, you have a choice. Let fear control you, or use fear to set yourself free. Because at the end of the day, there are only 2 types of people. Those who let fear decide for them. and those who feel fear and go for it anyway. And now, you know which one you are. Don't let fear win today. The second this video ends, do one thing that scares you. Because now, you're no longer someone who runs from fear. You're someone who faces it and takes their power back.